Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine Ball,
And Jennifer Denny.
and we really want to make this a little bit more interactive. So say hello in the chat if you're listening as we dive into this conversation on metrics.
My favorite topic.
So let's start off with a very simple question. Oh, that's the wrong question. Let's start with this one. No? What tools do you, or did we want to use the other question
I
first?
think either way. I think you have to start with how often are you looking at your marketing reports, because I see some people and they're like, I need to look at this daily. I need to look at this weekly. And I don't think I agree with that. Like, maybe if you're optimizing, but if you're trying to determine, what's good, what's bad, I'm not sure that is accurate. What do you think?
You know what? I think it's like getting on the scale every day if you're trying to lose weight. It'll make you crazy because there are natural fluctuations in your body. And you know
Yeah,
what? There are natural fluctuations in your business. There's a little bit of seasonality, there are patterns through the month. I think for most businesses, I think a weekly just check to see
yeah,
because you have a goal for the month. So
right.
I think a weekly check is a good um,
Cadence for you to
cadence
be checking.
so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
so you can kind of make adjustments because I do think you have to look every month. I mean, at a minimum, every month.
absolutely. Absolutely.
The reason I like to look a little longer, a little more often, is just so you can make those little
Well,
adjustments.
you don't just set it and forget it. I mean, you absolutely have to make adjustments every week, but your overall strategy is shouldn't change, and so you're just making little adjustments, perhaps throughout the month. And personally, I think you need to really do a deep dive every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, absolutely. So when you look at your marketing every 3 months, what are you really looking for? What are the things that you're trying to pull out?
Well, so I'm trying to look at trends first of all. So I want to know how I'm heavily in digital marketing, so let's just put it there, but I do believe in online and offline. But I'm trying to look at who first of all is driving traffic to the website, and I'm looking at how does that traffic perform. I'm looking at how long do they stay on the website? How many pages do they look at? Is it valuable traffic? And, then backing that up into a strategy. Okay, well, that worked really well. I need to do more of that.
You know, I spend a lot of time looking at where is my traffic coming from
Hmm.
because as you said, I got to do more of that. And the thing that I also really like to look at is when I look at my numbers over a period of time, I look for the anomalies. October 2020. Why did my numbers blow up? Now I know why they blew up in March and April of 2020. Okay, there
Yeah.
were some outside factors. But what happened in March? Or December, a year ago now? I had a spike in October of 2020, and I had
Yeah.
to dive in and go, why? It wasn't pandemic related. Did I do something different? Did I launch a different program? And going back in a year or 6 months and having the
Historical data,
Mhm,
perspective of
mhm.
like, what did I do before? So, you just introduced a whole nother time of when to measure, not
Mhm.
just month over month, week over week, quarter over quarter, year over year.
And for a lot of businesses, I often caution them away from looking at month over month data. And the reason is most businesses are seasonal. Now, I came out of an industry that was incredibly seasonal, heating and air conditioning.
Yeah.
If I'm hired by an air conditioning company in June, I look brilliant because
Yeah.
the numbers go up July and August. If
Yes, yes.
if they hire me in September, I don't look so smart. They're like, "Well, we were fine without you." So you have to look at, well, but where were you a year ago? Because September to September is a much
Yeah.
more valid comparison.
And I think you have to think about it in terms of the channel of marketing that you do. I think sometimes, maybe I'm an ads person and people are like, the ad is live. It's been 3 hours. Why is it not working? And I'm like, you
Oh,
just launched all the way to SEO. That can take 3 to 6 months before you really see the value of it. And so if you're posting an article and then a week later, like, we didn't get any traffic from that, you're looking at it wrong.
mhm. And it was interesting that you say that because I was just looking at my Pinterest numbers this morning, and I use a tool that will automatically loop pins and kind of reinsert them back into the timeline automatically every few months. And I have pins that, well, this pin has been reinserted 3 times and you haven't gotten a repin. And before I pull it out of the loop, I went deeper and went, oh, I have pins that have been pinned 11 and 12 times, and now they're getting repins. And so it is that same, sometimes you just have to be patient. You have to give, you can't go for a rapid boil. You kind of have to go for that slow
Marketing
simmer.
doesn't happen overnight. It builds on top of each other and you need those multiple, channels. So you talked about a tool. So what tools are you kind of using to measure, those different results?
So, for a lot of our clients, we really like Dash This. It's not cheap, but what I really like about it is it allowed us to pull data in. We could pull in our Google Analytics, we could pull in Facebook data and LinkedIn data and Instagram data. And so we could see in one dashboard kind
All of
of
it.
all of it. And I could look, and I could also load in like a sales curve. So I could look at, here are my sales, here's my web traffic, and here's the different things. And again, I want to caution people. I think it was like 250 a month. It was not an inexpensive tool, but we were using it to manage multiple clients. Um, right now, as I'm doing just for me, I'm going back to the original data sources. How about you? What do you like?
So, as far as pulling the data together, I use Google Data Studio, and Supermetrics is kind of an add-on. This allows me to do the same thing and pull in multiple sources of data so that I can see that. But I think there's a bigger issue here that people don't completely understand when it comes to Google Analytics, one of the most used tools out there. I love Google Analytics, but it's really telling us a lie in a lot of ways.
Okay, why do you say that Google Analytics is telling us a lie?
Well, because Google Analytics tells you in the report of default channel grouping. So it tells you where your traffic is coming from. But what it tells you is the very last thing that somebody did or the channel that they visited before they completed the phone call, form fill, or sale, sometimes called conversions in marketing. And that's not fair because it's all the beers in marketing that got you drunk, not the first or last beer.
That is so true. Yes, it is absolutely kind of that buildup over time.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of Google Ads, and so if you think about it, Google Ads is I am directly searching for what you have to offer. It's going to show the most credit, but that's not fair to all your top of funnel marketing and branding that you did. That when somebody clicked through, they already knew who you were, they knew what you were about, they had seen you before, they knew, then they clicked. But if you just used that in Google Analytics, you'd be like, "Oh, throw more money into Google Ads." Not so fast.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I like to go back to the original source. I go back to my little WordPress website, and I look at Jetpack stats, and I look at where did the traffic come from yesterday? Where did it come from in the last 7 days, in the last quarter, and in the last year? So, oh, look, there was a spike yesterday on Pinterest, but I'm not going to throw $1 million at Pinterest
Yeah.
because then I look, oh, but yeah, last week, not so good. The week before, not so good. Um,
I
abs-
think there's some channels that don't get credit. I know, we talked about email marketing several weeks ago,
mhm.
and, that can be at the top of the funnel, it could be at the bottom of the funnel, and it doesn't get quite the credit. So I'm just saying overall, Google Analytics is free, it's great, but it's not telling you the whole story. It's telling you a lie.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that's a really good place to kind of put a pin in this. I think that we should come back for another conversation on okay, so you've got the data. Now, what do you do with it?
How do you make those decisions?
I think we should talk about that maybe after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta take a little turkey break and get our stuffing.
So, I just want to remind everybody if you're confused by some of the analytics and you really just want to let a pro do it, check out elevatedmarketing.solutions.
And if you wanna figure it all out yourself, the digitaltoolbox.club has a lot of great tools inside of it. So take care, guys.
Bye now.